Yeah, daggum thing dropped again. I honestly don't know why it's doing that, but it's ticking me off. I don't know if it's YouTube or whatever, but I'm actually going through my phone right now because the laptop for what it's something to do with the connection with the hotspot and my laptop. So, but here's the good news: no buffering whenever I do it on my phone. So it's going to be buffer free. So maybe it's a blessing in disguise. But yeah, I do think that the 4 Super Conference alignment is coming. It's going to be like 16 to 20 teams apiece. It's probably not going to look like the way I drew it up. They'll probably, pick Boise State, BYU, maybe even Notre Dame. Notre Dame might actually join the conference. I don't know. Probably not. But West Virginia, and that's what I was saying today, West Virginia needs to come up with a plan now. We need to not... What is it? We need to not wait on an invite. We need to be making phone calls. We need to reach out. Because I do not want what happened last time, which was the Big East got picked apart, and West Virginia was just waiting on people to invite them, and we ended up with the Big 12. Yes, we make a lot of money, but we don't fit in the Big 12. We don't. So, let's avoid that situation altogether. Okay? Give me a minute, guys. I gotta calm down because the internet thing is really getting on my nerves. I do know that 100% I'm going to be doing the live show from my parents' house because they have strong Wi-Fi. I can't risk it from here. But I got to figure out something with this Wi-Fi because I love doing live shows, call-in live shows. Now, I'm doing it on my phone. There's no buffering, crystal clear, but you can't call in unless... Wait a minute. Alright, so here's the thing. This is my second phone, okay? So, now if I can't find it tonight, I apologize. But in the future, this is what we're going to do as far as these type of live shows. Now with Mark, it's going to be something different. I'm going to go to my parents' house. We'll have Wi-Fi. It'll be fine. But I am so glad I thought of this. It's not going to be that number that I've been posting, though. So, I need to find the number to this phone. I wrote it down. If I can't find it tonight, I apologize. But I will find it by tomorrow night. And I'm just going to start doing my live shows through my phone. Number one, no buffering. Crystal clear. And you guys can just call me on the other phone. Not sure where I wrote down the number, but it is somewhere on one of these notepads, so I probably won't find it this evening. Plus, I think, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, it's dead, so it'll have to charge. So here's the plan, guys. Tomorrow evening, and I'm not done with this show, by the way, but tomorrow evening, that's what I did, actually, Jacob. I did create a Google number for this phone that I'm using. The phone that I'm using right now is the one that you guys call. That's not my real number. That's a Google number. So, what I'll do, I might try to do that for this, depending on if I can find the other number or not. But anyways, point is, tomorrow we will have a call-in show. I'm going to go through my phone. You guys will be calling this phone, and it's going to be perfect. No buffering, no nothing. So, I have a great plan. All right. Another thing today, getting smacked in the face with mortality sucks. Bobby Bowden was diagnosed with a terminal illness, meaning he's going to die. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe you guys know. I don't know. But basically, he's dying. And I don't know about y'all, but I remember college football with Bobby Bowden. To be honest with you, it doesn't feel like he's 91 years old. It doesn't. It felt like when he retired, he actually retired too soon. But it really was his time to retire. So when I heard that today, it did make me sad. And there is some connection. West Virginia and Bobby Bowden, he coached for West Virginia. He's from West Virginia. And the thing is, people don't realize is West Virginia basically ran him out of town. They didn't think he was a good enough coach. What happens? He goes to Florida State and builds an empire, wins national championships, becomes an icon. So that's another lesson, guys. Be careful who you run off. They might just be a legend. Now, if they're a crazy person, that's a different thing. You know, that's you don't need craziness in your life. You don't need drama in your life. Keep the craziness at arm's length at all times. But don't underestimate people. Don't underestimate people. You never know when you're dealing with a legend. And speaking of which, I think we're dealing with the legend with Tiger Baskins. The dude is a legend in the making, and he's awesome. I love it when he comes on my show. I think he's already a legend, but I think he's going to make it big. He's already got great character. Me and him have great chemistry on the show. So I do appreciate you for contributing to the show when you do. But I will send you my number. You'll need to call sometime tomorrow, Tiger Baskins, because I'll be using the phone that you usually call. We're going to have a pretty good show, though. Pretty good show. And Bobby Bowden is a legend. He's an awesome individual as well. In fact, after he retired, I'm sure he wasn't allowed to while he was coaching, nor did he really want to. But after he retired, I forget who got him to. It might have been Mark Richt. I don't know, but somebody got him to do the U. The U. He's a Florida State man. That's a no-no at Florida State. And I believe he's really good friends with Mark Richt, and it might be someone else, but I think that's what happened. He got him to do the U. And that's another thing. Mark Richt he has Parkinson's. So yeah, good guy, not a great coach, but a good guy. And the good coaches are the ones that I remember from my childhood, growing up. They're getting older, and life is life, and you get smacked in the face with mortality, and realize, hey, you don't live forever. So I'm not trying to get dark here, but I'm saying live your life to the fullest. Don't have any regrets. That's the whole reason I started the YouTube channel, because my entire life, two things I really wanted to be, either a weatherman or a sports person. And I went to college, but I had to actually pull out of college because I had emergency surgery on my stomach. I had an ulcer and I didn't know it, and it ruptured. So I didn't get to finish school. So I was just like, I guess I'll never get to do it. Then YouTube came out. Just didn't think I could do it. And then one day, my brother showed me a YouTube video, and it happened to be Uncle Lou. I know some people in the chat don't like him, but that was the video that inspired me to start my channel. And my brother's like, hey, I think you can do this. And I was like, man, I don't know. And the first few times on camera, not good. If you're a subscriber, you can go back and watch it if you want to, but fair warning, cringe, big time, bad. But you have to do it. And when people ask me what's the best thing to do, what do you need to start a YouTube channel? You don't need anything. What you need is to start. The first thing is to start. In order to accomplish anything, you have to start. If you don't start, you're not going to do anything. Hurricane T2Y in the house, by the way. What's going on, bud? So yeah, if you're thinking about doing a YouTube channel, don't worry about the lights or the camera. That will come. You can adjust whatever. Just start. Get your phone out. Start recording. Make your channel and pump out videos about whatever it is you like. It doesn't have to be college football. Whatever it is you're passionate about. That's the YouTube channel that you need to start. So that's the advice that I would have for you. Now, as I said at the beginning of the first show, because it dropped out of nowhere, Texas, Oklahoma reaching out. Everybody wants Oklahoma. Nobody wants Texas. That's another life lesson, guys. Your reputation will always follow you. So, yeah, Texas has been the big boy on campus in the Big 12, and getting the Big 12 to kiss their rear ends. Well, guess what? If you head over to the SEC, they don't even want you over there. How do I know? Because I posted my video in several different Big 12 fan groups, Kansas State, Baylor, SEC fan bases, my bad. Like Auburn, Georgia, whatever. Yeah, they don't want Texas. They do want Oklahoma. But they don't want Texas. And it's not because they're scared of you. It's because of the drama you've started. I mean, even in this past week, the horns down, you made sure that the Big 12 came out and announced, hey, if you do horns down in somebody's face, you're getting a flag. Well, guess what? We've already known that. Unsportsmanlike conduct is a penalty. So there was no sense for you to actually come out and say, hey, this is part of the penalty. And that's the drama that nobody likes. And I don't know if y'all realize this, but the two teams that have the most rivals, sit down and think about this. The two teams that have the most rivals, Texas and Notre Dame. Why? Because they make everybody hate them. That's why. Everybody wants to beat them. People want to beat Alabama because they're the best. People want to beat Notre Dame and Texas because they don't like you. So it's going to follow you no matter what. And I know you never envisioned in your wildest dreams that the Big 12 would go down. I kind of saw it coming, especially after the last realignment. Now, maybe it doesn't, but still, you're reaching out to the SEC, so you're going over into hostile territory where they don't know you that much. You're bringing along your drama, and they don't want nothing about it. They don't want anything to do with it. So that's a lesson for the rest of us. If you're one of these people that you like to go out and start stuff, you like to start drama, and an opportunity appears, and the person that holds the key to your opportunity has heard about your drama, or what you're about as far as starting stuff, starting trouble, talking behind people's back, lying about people, whatever. Denied. There goes your opportunity. And it was probably nothing you did in your interview or conversation. They just found out about your reputation, what you do. So you gotta mind, make sure you do the right thing all the time. And this isn't even hammering Texas fans, because they didn't have anything to do with that. And we have a Texas fan in here, Texas Homer. Hey, that's a great name. I love it. It's not about the Texas fans. It's about the Texas University itself and the higher ups in Texas. They were the ones that made sure that the Big 12 worded it as such and came out and said, hey, horns down. If you do it specifically, you're getting an unsportsmanlike conduct. Even though everybody already knew it. Everybody already knew it. You didn't need to say it. What's going to happen now? What's going to happen now, unfortunately, for Texas fans, even though it's not their fault, is it's going to get thrown down even more. When you bring attention to something, people are going to do it even more. Hey, we know that irritates them. We're going to do it more. That's the thing. If you go out of your way to let people know, hey, this irritates me, guess what they're going to do? They're going to do the thing that irritates you the most. So if you really want people to stop doing it, you have to act like it doesn't bother you. That's the thing. If you really want people to stop doing it, you have to act like it doesn't bother you. Texas Homer says, dude, if we are going to the SEC, the refs are going to slaughter us. Yep. And Oklahoma. Yep. And we are getting 0 calls this year. And the reason I am agreeing with you emphatically is I'm a West Virginia fan. When we came to the Big 12, it was the worst calls ever. It's still bad now, but it's kind of tapered off a little bit. But the first year West Virginia was in the Big 12, oh, we couldn't catch a break to save our lives. Even at home, we were not used to that because, you know, even though on the road you typically are not going to get those calls, at home you usually do. No, not that first year. It was awful, and West Virginia got off to like a 5-0 start, and then we lost 5 in a row. And then we finished the season with 2 wins. So we finished 7-5 in what was supposed to be an up year. And ever since then, West Virginia has not been able to keep up. And here's the thing. People have gotten used to the Dana Holgorsen West Virginia. While Dana Holgorsen was at West Virginia, he was recruiting in the 40s. That's not how West Virginia recruits. Okay? It's not. Think about it. Before Dana Holgorsen was at West Virginia, we were recruiting top 25. Now that he's gone, it's taken us a couple years. Number 23 recruiting class in the nation. That's what you need to get used to. That doesn't mean we're going to start winning national championships and this and that, but we can be as successful as we were prior to Dana Holgorsen. And maybe we can get back to that cusp to where we were 1 game away from getting the national championship. And yes, we got beat by Pitt, and they will hold that over our heads forever, as they should, because they're our rival. But maybe if you can't get to the cusp, then you're not going to get there. It's one step at a time. And, you know, maybe now that Neil Brown is here and he's recruiting at a high level, people will get used to the old West Virginia. Because at one point, I'm telling you, when I went out in public and was wearing my West Virginia gear, that people would be like, man, that is one tough team. I didn't even know about West Virginia until we had to play them. I didn't realize how good you guys were. And that really started in 2006 whenever we beat Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. And I lived in the Deep South as I do now. A lot of Georgia fans, they were like, man, we thought we had this game by 2 touchdowns. Like, you guys are tough. We didn't realize that you guys were tough. And I was like, yeah, we are. If you have the right leadership, recruit right, develop players, you're gonna be pretty tough. And that's what Neil Brown is. And we're hoping to erase what Dana Holgorsen ingrained into everybody's head. So, long story short, I agree with you, Texas Homer. Whenever you do, if it does in fact happen, and it looks like it's going to, especially those first 2 or 3 years, you're not going to get your calls. But being Texas, I will say home games, you probably will do better than what West Virginia did. At least you have your brand going for you. But yeah, on the road, you're going to get slaughtered by calls. So be prepared for that. And the way I have it is I would have Texas staying in the West and Oklahoma actually going in the East. It would give the East more competition, and it would just be a couple of steps west of Missouri. So it would still make sense, because right now Missouri is the most west, and it's kind of it would kind of be like a path from Georgia, actually from Florida, like curving up all the way up into Oklahoma, and then the west would be kind of west and under. So it'd be the East curling over, and then the west kind of snug in between. If those two were to come, because I don't see the other teams switching divisions. I think the rest are set where they are, so you're going to have to figure out something. And the thing that makes the most sense to me, Texas in the West and Oklahoma in the East. And so, yeah, talk about a brutal schedule, Texas. You're going to have some brutal schedules as well. I think that's the first step in a big shakeup in college football. This isn't just about the SEC guys. This is about the entire landscape. We are moving towards 4 super conferences of 16 to 20 teams apiece. So yeah, it's going to happen, and I think that's the first step. And the bet just brought up something. Me and Tiger Baskins have been talking about collaborating. We actually needed to do it. I think it's going to be sweet. Maybe after the live show I do with Mark Rogers, because I'm doing live shows every day, me and Tiger Baskins will get together, we'll collab, and we'll actually drop that. We'll figure out how to do that. That's going to be great. So y'all don't forget about the live show on Saturday. It's going to be the big one. the big one, the Mark Rogers. That's why I'm doing this every day today. All right, let me check the comments real quick. I haven't forgotten about y'all, I promise. Baylor says there would be more Tech fans in the Rose Bowl than UCLA, no doubt. I would agree with that. If y'all missed how I would realign geographically if the Big 12 does indeed get picked apart, here we go. So for the SEC, if Oklahoma and Texas were for real to go to the SEC, I have Texas, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, LSU, Alabama, Auburn, and Arkansas. So basically, SEC West plus Texas. Same with Oklahoma. It'd be Oklahoma, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Missouri, South Carolina, and Kentucky. SEC East plus Oklahoma. There's your first 16-team conference. Now, for the ACC, Coastal, Miami, North Carolina, Duke, Georgia Tech, Pitt, Virginia, Virginia Tech, and West Virginia. That's where I would put in West Virginia. For the Atlantic, NC State, Wake Forest, Clemson, Florida State, Louisville, Boston College, Syracuse, and Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati has done enough to earn a spot in a Power 5. Lower class, ACC, fine, whatever you want to call it, but I think they've earned a spot at the table. Now, for the Big Ten, I had to do a lot of switching around for this. Big Ten East, I pulled Purdue over. So it's Purdue, Ohio State, Indiana, Penn State, Maryland, Rutgers, Michigan, and Michigan State. For the West, this is where it's really stacked. Northwestern, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Nebraska, Illinois, Iowa, Iowa State, and Oklahoma State. Great division right there. And finally, the Pac-12. Kansas, Texas Tech, USC, Utah, Arizona State, UCLA, Arizona, TCU, and Baylor. So TCU and Baylor and Kansas would come together and stay together. And then in the other division, Washington, Oregon, Stanford, Oregon State, Washington State, Cal, and I'll pull Colorado because it would make more sense. So Colorado, Kansas State, and Boise State. And a lot of people doubt me when I make these. They seem like crazy predictions. Here's the thing, and you can go back and fact check me. You can do this. On the night of the national championship, I said there needs to be a 12-team playoff, and that's what I see. I said that's the number that makes the most sense in my head. Nobody was talking about it, but that's the number that made the most sense in my head. And I said top 4 seeds get a bye. First round home playoff games. It seemed like a crazy idea back then. A couple weeks ago, guess what happened? 12-team playoff. First round bye. First round playoff games. I didn't know they would go exactly with my plan, but they did. They went exactly with what I said. So never say never, guys. If it kind of does sort of make sense in your head, it actually could happen. So that's why I think the conferences, as far as the Big 12 disintegrating and where each team would go, kind of makes sense. It could really happen. All right. Let me get to some comments, and then we'll jump off here real quick. Let's see. Totally Not Depressed says, this new conference realignment just screams FCS call-up. No. Well, yes and no. I don't think they would be called up to the Power 5, but possibly to the Group of 5. Maybe if that's what you meant. Yes, I could totally see that. Had an itch, sorry. Let's see. Jacob says Cincinnati would not get the invite. Out of any team in the Group of 5, it would be Cincinnati. And if they would need Cincinnati to even it out, I promise you, they would call Cincinnati. Cincinnati has the TV market. They've proven themselves. If anybody, it would be Cincinnati. Let's see. Well, no, of course Notre Dame would get the invite, but Notre Dame would turn it down. I don't think Notre Dame's going to join a conference. They have their TV contract. They know that they'll host a playoff game pretty much whenever they want to. Life is good at Notre Dame. They're not joining a conference. I mean, maybe they do. I don't know. But, of course, Notre Dame would get the invite over Cincinnati. In my scenario, I'm thinking Notre Dame turns it down. So, they don't want to be in a conference. Jacob says, and I feel sorry for Iowa State. Iowa would block them from the Big Ten. Yeah, but I don't think Iowa holds enough clout to do it by themselves. I think it would take more than one. And I don't think that would happen, actually, because that's a good rivalry. I think they would actually want them in. But might be a good point. Totally says, Kansas would get invited to a major conference in basketball only. To be honest with you, I agree with you. Kansas has an FCS football program. They do. Or at bare minimum, group of 5. They are trash. Basketball, they are elite. Good comment. Luke says, as a TCU fan, I think we head back to the Mountain West if this happens. No, I think y'all could go to the Pac-12. I mean, that's a possibility, but I think you head to the Pac-12. Let's see. Michael says, I came up with a new name for GBD. It is Thundering Herd Dude or THD. No. Not happening. Jay says, hey, BG dude. I think you meant GB because I'm going to blue dude. Anyways, you are the best thing that has happened to West Virginia fans. Keep up the good work. That I really appreciate that comment because that was one of my goals to bring a West Virginia fan YouTube channel. Even though I'm not only about West Virginia, it's still growing. And I'm representing West Virginia. Even though the videos aren't about West Virginia all the time, I'm representing West Virginia. So I definitely appreciate that comment. That was pretty cool. Let's see. Anybody else? All right, so here we go. Shout out to the Bet. Flicked FN is in the house. Tiger Baskin's still here. The Bet. Let's see who else. Totally. Texas Homer. I don't know if you're still here. Michael Hogg. Luke. Joey Foster, my sponsor. Don't forget to go check out Tri-State Woodsketch, guys. It's tristatewoodsketch.com. Tristatewoodsketch.com. If you mention that I sent you, buy one, get one free. It doesn't get better than that. He is doing a buy one, get one free sale if you mention me. Jim Hamrick is in the house. Appreciate you, bud, always. Let's see. Did I forget anybody? Derwake. And Hurricane T2Y, if you're still in the building, shout out to you, my friend. Y'all go check him out, sub him up. Jets, I really like your screen name. Jets, Mets, Nets. He's a fan of all 3 teams. They rhyme. Why not? Great. Great idea. Love it. You don't see very many genius screen names anymore. All right, so let's see. And John Waffle. He got on here last second to get his name on there. John, let me say your full name. John Waffle, WVU in Texas, 1922 national champions. That is a long name. And Ray Finkel's house just popped up. I always appreciate you too, bud. Welcome back. So, we're going to wrap it up. But tomorrow, I will be back. Probably 9 o'clock because I don't have to work tomorrow. Here's the thing. So, I have my plan, okay, guys? I'm going to do it on my phone. I'm going to have my second phone charged, and I will give you my number to this phone, okay? That way, we can do a call-in show tomorrow because I don't want this whole YouTube thing coming down. Whatever the problem is with my laptop, not happening. So there's a plan, and we will have a call-in show. I appreciate y'all's support. I really do. Y'all make this show awesome. I appreciate you, Tiger Baskin. Shout you out. And Tri-State Woodsketch, I appreciate you, Joey. And by the way, Tiger Baskins, yes, I am going to give you a wrench. I actually need you as a moderator. Joey needs some help. So does everybody else. All right. Y'all have a good night. I'll be back on tomorrow. Sorry about the issues earlier. But I came up with a good plan. And when I do it on my phone, no buffering. So this might have been a blessing in disguise. I figured it out, guys. Y'all have a good night. I'll see y'all tomorrow.